Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I wanted to show you this because I see some new chart terminology I've never seen before, and I like it. eGrag Crypto XRP Atlas line. Will the Atlas line be XRP Launchpad? Historical data presents evidential information that the last two times XRP tapped the Atlas line, it pumped 5,000 and 100,000%. Charts based on Poloniex. Look at this. The Atlas line. I don't even know what that means or what it is. But here's the first time, 5,000%, 100,000%. Boy, I don't know what this means, but I sure hope it hits the Atlas line, because that would, based on what he's showing here, put us at $8.50. I will take the Atlas line all day long. And I like 100,000% too. CoinDesk did a neat little 24-second video. Here's a 2022 recap. Hectic year.
I ain't knowingly commingle funds.
It's a perfect competitive good to centralized stablecoins.
The FOMC raised our policy interest rate by 75 basis points.
This is the first step in Ethereum's big journey.
2022 has been unlike any other year in crypto history. Here's a look back at the most epic stories that defined this year.
I think they've got a longer video at this link if you want to watch it. Now, this is interesting right here. This right here is a screenshot that this guy, I don't even follow that person now, I do. It was from a document, Digital Currencies, the US, China, and the World at a Crossroads. And if you go down here, this is from Stanford University, and it's in 2022. Stanford Junior University, whatever that means. It says... Let's go down here. I want to show you who was, Stanford University, Hoover Institution Press. And look who's one of the contributors. That would be Chris Giancarlo. Just wanted to show you that. This is from page 120 and 121, I guess. Check this out. Ooh, I could see it better like this. It is possible to envisage even more adventurous arrangements. For instance, a special drawing rights-based stablecoin issued by a multilateral agency reminiscent of John Maynard Keynes' proposed supranational currency. That's what Chris Larson called it. He referred to XRP as he thought it might be kind of like a supernatural currency similar to the Swiss franc. Bancor, which would be exchangeable with any national currency. Any national currency would thus be convertible into any other national currency in 2 steps via the stablecoin. Such an arrangement would resemble the cross-border payment system that Ripple currently operates with its XRP cryptocurrency, and is just one of a variety of possible alternatives. Any democratic alternative should allow for private sector solutions, multi-currency corridors, for instance, should not rule out the use of regulated private stablecoins or cryptocurrencies, even though such solutions might require additional regulation as discussed below. How about that, folks? All right, check this out. SBF was meeting with senior White House officials shortly before FTX collapse. Here's a clip from that show that I was watching. Somebody sent to me yesterday. Watch this.
3 weeks ago, you have Maxine Waters blowing kisses at Sam Bankman-Fried. Oh, I love you. And then you've got Soros. And in terms of now that they've disclosed the political contribution, the only person who gave more to the powers that be on both sides of the aisle, particularly the not so nice, was Soros.
Right.
Soros, who met with, that's the meeting. If you remember, look down here. I put it in here just so you could see it. SEC Chairman Gensler scrubbed evidence of a meeting with that person whose name we don't say, Soros, and crazy lunatic, crazy person, Nancy Pelosi. Okay, I can't even imagine having a meeting with her about anything.
Has exposed so much bad funding and how the money that was stolen got spattered
Bad
about.
funding, that's one way of
and the
saying
shit that is now plastering the SEC and everybody is a good thing, because it shines a light on the way the system is work. And you can complain about how fraudulent it is. The problem is most of the time the fraud goes unnoticed. But now the fraudsters have been exposed.
And not only have the
there's
fraudsters
a big
been,
dose of ugly.
And not only have the fraudsters been exposed, but the fraudsters have been exposed at the highest levels, i.e. Gary Gensler.
Bingo. Bingo. We are over the target. Now, I want to show you this video. This is with Jimmy Valley. He's with Zach Rector. You should give Zach Rector a follow. In fact, my father, who's the official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel, has brought up Zach Rector's name to me more than one time and told me that I needed to follow this young man because he's really smart. So my dad watches him, and you can go to his YouTube channel here. I've got a link right below the thing if you want to watch that. Listen to what Jimmy Valley says.
We had connected the dots that, Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman had worked together on the Alibaba thing. We had basically connected those dots all the way back up to, Ant Financial, Alipay, how all this had played out and was playing out as a distribution system of the Chinese yuan, the digital yuan. So China had already issued its CBDC, and that was being distributed to tens of millions, hundreds of millions of Chinese persons to use in commerce, so that they were getting way, way ahead. We were also seeing on the ground just, Ant Financial things, like if you go to your local Walgreens, there'll be a big Alipay sticker there, right? So we had enough information back then to realize that the lawsuit was really subterfuge for a more extensive effort to delay the adoption of XRP and the XRP-L being used as a competitive payment system to, say, an Alipay, right? So when you start to see these types of things and you realize that the very people, who are in charge of the federal agency and bringing these enforcement actions are themselves connected back through China, right? You start to realize that, really the institution of the Securities and Exchange Commission and maybe other institutions within our federal government have been captured by effectively the Chinese government. So you had to kind of, when you realize that, you have to assume that if the executive branch and the agencies, the legislative branch certainly isn't doing anything, right? They're kind of pretending like they don't even understand this stuff, calling it fraud and criminal. You got Elizabeth Warren and was it Brown who sits up there, saying, all this stuff is illegal and it's nothing but air behind it and all this stuff. So they're doing their dance, their act in front of the public. We had to make the assumption that it could be that the judicial branch has been captured as well, that effectively the corporate federal government have been captured and will not basically decide this on a level playing field, fairness and equity type thing, but will end up deciding the matter, for the interests that basically govern them and pay them.
No, folks, it has never, since I began this channel, since I got into crypto in 2013, it has never ever made sense, this whole Bitcoin, Ethereum, and proof of work thing, because it doesn't work. It's energy. I literally walked into one of these huge containers at one of the Bitcoin conferences where they had all the mining equipment and all this stuff. It never made sense. The only frame in which any of this makes sense is that it's all about money and corruption, is the idea of Bitcoin being this thing. Well, if you start to look at things like this, it all starts to come together in your minds. First thing you need to understand, we've talked about it. We've covered ETHgate. We blew that wide open. But what about the Bitcoin thing? Okay? Remember, Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman, who were literally put at the SEC, they took Alibaba public. Now look at this. Follow this chart. In other words, follow the money. People's Bank of China, and I'm not sure about this My Bank part, but this part, People's Bank of China is Alipay right here. Ant Financial is the I guess the owner of that, and then Alibaba. I can't remember if this is backwards. Or is Ant Financial the holding company of Alibaba? Anyway, it's one of them. But then Alibaba was taken public by Hinman and Clayton. Well, New Horizon, if you look right here, investor in Alibaba in connection with the Yahoo buyback and investment in BitDeer in connection with the Go Public merger. Well, see, what's the narrative? Oh, all the mining left China. When the mining was in China, it was called Bitmain. Well, Bitmain, in a spin-off transaction, is BitDeer. Okay, and New Horizon owns a lot of BitDeer. Okay, Go Public merger from, this was some kind of SPAC from Blue Safari Group. Okay, all right, but New Horizon, well, who runs? The founder of New Horizon is this Wen Jun Song, and this guy is the son of this guy who's the former premier of China from 2003 to 2013. What does all of this spell? It spells that some of our country has been captured by China, because they're over here making billions, and we've got this mess in the U.S. where the thing that could compete on the world stage, XRP, is wrapped up in a lawsuit by the same people who are behind the Alibaba IPO helping China with that. Does that make any sense to you? While Bitcoin goes free, does that make any sense to you? Of course it doesn't. It makes sense in the frame of corruption. This makes some sense too. Look at this guy's record. Fred Rispoli replied to me. I was talking about this guy. This guy, every chance he's gotten, has gone on to defend Gary Gensler against Ripple in this lawsuit on Twitter. And then he blocked me, right here, I said it. He blocked me when I said it was more disturbing that the SEC was having planning sessions with FTX than the photo of SBF in first class. He's been out there going to bat for Gary for months. Well, Fred Rispoli made me aware of a few things I wasn't aware of. He said, I always give the poor guy a break. He was literally at the SEC during the following frauds. Is that Washington Mutual? Enron, WorldCom, Tyco, HealthSouth, Freddie Mac, AIG, Lehman, Madoff. Look how many billions of dollars were lost in each one. These guys, folks, to call them incompetent might be a compliment. I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and ask your friends and family, what's this guy up to? He's out here defending the SEC. What are they? Maybe he's wanting to get a job at the Fed or something, or maybe he wants to work at Goldman Sachs. That's how all this works.